Yeah, right, guys, it's Bulbs, and this is week 7 of the 4th season of the Home Draft League. Our opponent this week is Mini Pachu and the Veni Vidi Victini. Now, obviously, Veni Vidi Victini is based off the old Latin phrase Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Let's see if we can conquer this week's opponent. Just going to jump straight away, as always, into the league standings, because things are looking quite good for the Bulbs. So here we are. I genuinely never thought that I'd be able to say this, but we are top of the league. It's a 13-week regular season, so we're pretty much at the halfway point now. On that, I think later tonight we're going to be recording like a mid-season review of how things are going. Me and a few of the other league captains, so I'll link that in the description if we do get that done, and also stick it in the playlist for this season. Anyway, yeah, midway through the season, we are top somehow. Top of the league. I still stand by the fact that my team's really good. There are better teams. I'm a decent battler, definitely better battlers, and I still stand by the fact that if I finish top half just anywhere in the playoff conversation, I will be happy with how this season has gone. I saw myself, I've said this many times before, as like a lower to mid-table team. Sort of, I expected to be battling around, like maybe sneaking to like probably 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. I was expecting to finish somewhere around here. It's the fact that halfway through the season, we've had some difficult battles as well. Obviously, we beat the Lucarios. Who else have we played? We actually lost the Toracats. Yeah, a lot of my opponents, we've had like the Kingdras, the Oshawots. They're a little bit low down, but also like, especially the Oshawots, they were finalists last season, so they are lower down than they deserve to be. Who else have we played? Yeah, we played the Darkrai's here. Played the, like I say, the Lucario. So we haven't played like easy opponents. It's the fact that we're still top of the league. We've got equal best differential. We're on this insane win streak. Yeah, things are looking really, really good for us. Going off the win streak there. I said it last week. Momentum is tangible. And yeah, let's see if we can push on here. I will say this week's video is going to be called Momentum is Tangible, regardless of whether we win or lose. I'm going to say that right now. I haven't played the battle yet, no idea how it's going to go. And so, yeah, the title of the video does not spoil the battle there. Yeah, let's jump into the team for my opponent this week. Here we go. We've got the two teams here. As ever, I'm just going to read through my own team very quickly. We've got the Drakefish, Excadrill, Hippowdon, Politoed, Vileplume, Heliolisk, Houndoom, Ninetales, Skarmory, Blastoise, and Mega Ordino. Fun fact for you, as of last week with my Sun team, I have brought every single one of these Pokemon once. So yeah, it's always a sign of a good draft if you do get every single Pokemon featuring at least once in the season. My opponent's team, we got Mega Garchomp, Deoxys Defense, Empoleon, Sylveon, Spectria, Golbat, Zoroark, Escavalier, Pyro, Virizion, and Rotom Fan. Now, I've got to say, at a glance, this team doesn't look too scary, or at least that was my first impression. When we did the power rankings, I wasn't too enamoured by this team. However, since trying to figure out how to build for this, I think it's got a lot of hidden potential. Like, it's not an obviously powerful team, but my god, it's been difficult to plan for. I'm really scared about this. If you look at the type matchup chart here, it's weak to ice, which doesn't really have much standing in this game because I don't have any ice-type Pokemon, don't have the best ice coverage. Apart from maybe Ice Fang on the Drakefish. But yeah, past that, I mean, a lot of my threats are kind of shut down with the with certain cores in this team. Golbat's going to be really difficult to wear down. Deoxys Defense, it's going to be really difficult for me to set up and try and sweep because, yeah, Deoxys Defense just sits there and eats up hits like a tank. We've got Mega Garchomp, which obviously does better in the sand. That's something to bear in mind. But then you get Pokemon like Sylveon, which would be, it's normally like a very, very good fairy. I really rate Sylveon. I feel like my team can deal with it quite well. Same with Spectria, it should be a threat. My team can deal with that really well. So I think a lot of his offensive threats, I mean, even with Mega Garchomp, we've got like the Skarmory, right? So a lot of his offensive threats don't particularly trouble me too much. It's just breaking through his defense, I think I'm going to find really, really difficult. And on that note, let's just go to the team builder for this video. So, leading off the team for this week, we've got the Excadrill. I haven't actually brought Excadrill that much this season. He was an absolute staple in, was it season 2 when I had him before? Brought him most weeks. With the introduction of Dracovish, Excadrill is a bit more of a luxury one for me now. Like, he'll come into a match if he needs to, but he's absolutely not like a stalwart of the team. However, as you can see here, we've got Hippowdon. We are bringing the sand. Very, very risky, I am aware, to bring the sand against the team that's got Mega Garchomp. But if we look through my opponent's team here, if we look in this column here for Pokemon that are weak to ground, he's only got the 1 resistance with Virizion. He's got 2 immunities in Golbat and Rotom Fan. But as you can see here, we do have the Rock Slide to deal with those. And then, I mean, the Steel coverage, obviously he's got answers for that. But I think between the Earthquake, the Rock Slide, the Iron Head, if I can get up to, because the plan is here, as you can see, we've got the Focus Sash, so if we can keep hazards off the field, set up the sand, bring in Excadrill at full health, get up the Swords Dance on the first turn when my opponent knocks me down to my Sash, and then I think pretty much everything on his team gets 2-hit KO'd by the Earthquake, everything that doesn't gets 2-hit KO'd by the Rock Slide. Iron Head is there, it's a bit more of a circumstantial thing, but I had a free move. Deoxys Defense is the only thing that doesn't get 2-hit KO'd by one of these moves, so I've just got to try and chip that thing down as the battle goes on. But yeah, looking through his team, Tiny is an absolute win con for this, and like I said, I don't want to have to bring the sand against the Mega Garchomp, but this is just too good. He's EV'd here to outspeed absolutely everything on my opponent's team. Absolutely everything, even if it's Choice Scarfed, it will get outsped when we get to +2. Also, if we don't manage to get the sand up, sorry, I've just got that written here, we had to be a timid Rotom Fan, just like without the Sand Rush boost, in case that comes in handy, but hopefully we'll keep a Palatoad around and we'll be able to get the sand up for my opponent. So yeah, next up we got Palatoad. Very bog standard defensive wall. It helps to deal with stuff like the Mega Garchomp, but I mean, probably not particularly just because we're setting up the sand, but you know, it's a really good defensive wall. Skarmory is mainly there to be the defensive wall for the bigger threats like the Garchomp, but obviously a Palatoad needs to be here for the sand. Makes sense to make him defensively bulky. Got the Earthquake. I was tempted to run the Ice Fang for the Mega Garchomp, but I think honestly if I do end up one-on-one with it, I'll just switch out to the Skarmory, so I don't really want to have to pack the Ice Fang. Obviously you might also expect the Ice Fang, so it's quite an obvious move to have on that Hippowdon. So we just went for Toxic instead. Like I say, a lot of my plan this week, like it has been in previous weeks, is between my 4 walls here. Is just I'm bringing back the stall. I think it's going to be another like a hefty turn battle, and yeah, so we've got the Stealth Rock for chip damage, got Toxic for chip damage, Slack Off obviously for the reliable recovery. Yeah, Earthquake, like with the Excadrill, hits a fair chunk of his team. Yeah, like I say, this thing with the Smooth Rock, mainly just there to set the sand, but can also function as some kind of defensive wall, as can the Skarmory. Same deal as always, going Drill Peck over the Brave Bird, just so that we don't have to deal with any kind of recall damage. Defog, which is absolutely key. Obviously, we've got the Focus Sash on the Excadrill. Need to keep hazards off the field. Something to also note that my opponent doesn't have any spinners. He's got 3 defoggers, so if he wants to get hazards off his side of the field, he's going to have to get rid of hazards on my side as well, which is absolutely beautiful. And on that, I was tempted to go for spikes, stack up spikes, put more pressure on my opponent to go for the defog. But yeah, Roosters obviously needs to be there for the reliable recovery. And counter, I probably could go for spikes over counters. Counter's a lot more circumstantial. If my opponent does bring the Swords Dance Mega Garchomp, especially in the sand, obviously it's just going to wipe through my wall core. But on that, I was tempted to go for Whirlwind, and I did have Whirlwind on here originally, but I just think counter is going to be a lot more effective. Assuming that my opponent doesn't one-hit KO me, which he shouldn't be able to, not even at +2, then yeah, he goes for like a Stone Edge or something, we go for the counter. Should be good. I'm now realising Mega Garchomp is probably going to be running the Fire Blast. Do we get Mirror Coat at all? No, we don't. I'm just going to actually run through the team, because not a lot of his other threats are physical, so actually I am going to change my mind. I'm going to go for the Whirlwind. My opponent could go for like a mixed Swords Dance set, have like Swords Dance, Earthquake, Outrage, Fire Blast. If I brought the counter Skarmory to try and counter that, obviously it won't affect the Fire Blast, so I'm going to stick with the Whirlwind. Cool, good thinking. Next up, we've got the Peter Rabbit. Is obviously just there to stop the outrage spam. Also, just there as a generic specially defensive wall as normal. Yeah, between stuff like, I mean, I think I've got the heal bell on this, right? So I've got the full cleric. So even if Deoxys defense wants to come out and try and toxic stall me, can't do that. But yeah, special threats. Obviously, it completely shuts down the Spectria. I don't think he's going to bring the Spectria because of Mega Ordinary. If he does, I'll genuinely be happy if he does. Yeah, Sylveon can shut that thing down if he does run an offensive variant. Stuff like Zoroark. Obviously, I won't be able to tell if Zoroark's on the field, but Mega Ordinary is a really nice sponge to take up those hits. Maybe less so with the Pyro, but Pyro, I just don't see it being a threat. So, yeah, if he brings the Pyro, I'm not too fussed about that. Rotom Fan, if he brings like an offensive variant, yeah, again, Peter Rabbit can absolutely deal with that. I was kind of tempted to go for not the Dazzling Gleam. I went for the Dazzling Gleam. I was kind of tempted to go for the Draining Kiss, but I won't be able to take on the Mega Garchomp one-on-one. This Dazzling Gleam is a 2-hit KO on a Mega Garchomp that isn't bulk invested, so yeah, stick with that. The fourth part of my wall core, as pretty much always, I didn't bring him last week, but yeah, Vileplume's here. Strength Sap. It's just got to deal with stuff like the Mega Garchomp really, really well. That Mega Garchomp does terrify me, especially like since I'm saying I'm bringing the sand, but hopefully you can understand why I'm bringing the sand. Leech Seed, obviously, they're just there as always for reliable recovery. Strength Sap doubles up as reliable recovery as well. Corrosive Gas is because I think Golbat is going to be actually quite key for my opponent. Golbat, especially if we're considering that Tiny is my main sweeping threat. Golbat, I think even when Tiny's at +2, the Rock Slide isn't a 1-hit KO, so Corrosive Gas to get rid of the Eviolite should be really, really nice. Sludge Bomb, just there for damage. Yeah, I went physically defensive on this because also something that kind of scares me, and it would tear through Hippowdatoad, Skarmory, and Peter Rabbit, is if my opponent brings like a Swords Dance Virizion. I do have the Drill Peck on Skarmory, but that close combat's still going to do heavy damage. Amorphalis is kind of more of a sort of a defensive answer to Virizion, as well as something to get rid of the Eviolite on the Golbat, and a last-ditch Mega Garchomp answer with the Strength Sap. Yeah, it's just going to be doing what it normally does, really, just bulking up hits, leech seeding, getting Wish Passed, and yeah, generally being a real nuisance to take out. Last up, we got the Sid Vicious. Kind of, again, like with every week, I had 5 Pokemon for this battle. I had a 6th slot spare. You might notice here, not bringing the Sandrush. I did have a Sandrush choice band set originally, because yeah, everything gets 2-hit KO'd by the Vicious Friend. Everything does, even the Deoxys defense, I believe. Yeah, I think the Swords Dance Excadrill is going to be my main win con, but if the Focus Sash gets destroyed for whatever reason, if we don't manage to get the Swords Dance up, or more importantly, if Hippowdatoad dies earlier in the battle, that's sort of why I'm going to Choice Scarf over the Sandrush, is, yeah, this thing is sort of like a backup win con if something happens to Hippowdatoad. Yeah, between Vicious Rend and the Earthquake is there for stuff like the Empoleon resists the Vicious Rend. Ice Fang is obviously there for, because I looked at my opponent's team and I saw this very Ice Weak, Virizion and stuff like that as well, that resists the Vicious Rend. Outrage is just there for stab, because might as well. But yeah, this thing we can still afford to go Adamant. We outspeed, if we keep the Choice Scarf at this set, we outspeed, where is it? Jolly Virizion at +1. If he does decide to bring like a Jolly Choice Scarf Virizion, we will outspeed that. Yeah, I'm really hoping that the Excadrill does come in with the sweep. If not, like I say, Dracovish, brilliant backup. So yeah, the general plan for this battle, like with a few of the ones that I've done, especially against the Oshawots, against the Lucarios, is just chip, just heavy chip. We got the Leech Seed. We've got the Leech Seed. We've now got the Whirlwind to phase things out onto hazards. Got the Stealth Rock. Got the Toxic. Yeah, between these 4, also they've all got some form of recovery, or no less so reliable. But we do have the Protect and also Wish Passing onto my other walls if needed. Yeah, hopefully my opponent doesn't set up in my face. But even if my opponent does set up in my face, we've got the Whirlwind. We've got answers for it. And yeah, between these four, we should be able to chip my opponent down. If I get my opponent down, especially that Deoxys defense, down to around 50 to 60% or something, at that point I do feel safe. Sacking off Hippowdon, going out into Excadrill. Hopefully we've got no hazards on my side of the field. Set the Swords Dance and sweep. Yeah, that is the team for this week's battle, and I will see you for that. Okay, so we're going to be doing another post-com for this week. It's less to do with the fact that I messed up a recording. It's more just to do with the fact that this battle took place at about midnight my time, and my housemate was asleep, so I didn't really want to be live comming it. But yeah, doing a post-com here. Little disclaimer: this battle was like a week or so ago, like 5-6 days ago. So probably going to be a little bit hazy on a couple of these moves, but we'll run through it and see what happens. So on the team preview here, it's pretty much the team that I kind of expected. I was thinking maybe a Sylveon might come, just to try and stop the outrage spam, but obviously Drakefish is more known for Fish's Friend, so that's not really too much of a surprise. Yeah, I highlighted the Deoxys defense was going to be a massive threat in terms of preventing my Excadrill Wincon sweep, and also the Golbat as well. Got the Corrosive Gas on the Vileplume to get rid of the Golbat's Eviolite, and that becomes less of a threat, so basically, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking my entire team plan is just to try and chip down that Deoxys, and then we can either we can 2-hit KO with either the Earthquake on the Excadrill or the Fish's Friend on the Dracovish. One more thing to point out is the fact that obviously during the team builder I said that Spectria does not scare me at all. So the fact that he's brought the Spectria, especially when I've got the Mega Ordino, I really like that. So yeah, I lead off with my Hippowdon. I'm looking at his team, nothing really scares me too much, and I just want to get my rocks up, so that's exactly what I do. He Toxics the Hippowdon, not too much of an issue for me because I do have the Heal Bell on the Mega Ordino, which I believe I do go straight into here. No, sorry, I go into the Vileplume. I did a few Brave Bird calcs, and this thing doesn't really scare me at all. I can get off a Strength Sap or a Leech Seed on the switch. So it seemed like a decent switch in for me. He went for the Taunt here, and at this point I'm realising, oh, actually this Golbat's going to be impossible to take down. I've got the Corrosive Gas on the Vileplume as opposed to the knockoff on the Mega Ordino, so long as it taunts me, I can't get rid of its item. Can't do any kind of passive damage, and with unless we go into like a Dracovish with a Fish's Rend, there's nothing that can really trouble the Golbat too much. It can always roost up on any attack that I do. So at this point I see that taunt and I'm terrified. I believe now I go into the Mega Ordino just to shake off the taunt. Yeah, the dual wing beat's doing nothing. I calced for a cross poison once I Mega Evolve, and that does absolutely nothing either. So we're fine to go off for the Wish, I believe I go for. He gets the Toxic off, and I go for the Heal Bell to get rid of the poisoning on the Hippowdon. Fortunately, he goes for the Toxic, so I get rid of that as well. I think now I go for the Wish. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for the Taunt yet. But he really wants to chip me down, so that's absolutely fair. I think I go for the Heal Bell now. He again roosts. He's not taunting my Mega Ordino. I'm not quite sure why, but I'll take it. And at this point, yeah, we're pretty much back to turn one in terms of health and status across all the teams, apart from I've got the Stealth Rocks up, so I'm feeling decent in this situation. I just don't quite know how to get rid of this cycle, get out of the cycle, because the Golbat is here to stay, and I'm really struggling to break it down. Go for Protect here, just see what he's going to do. He goes for the Taunt. I then go for another Wish, so I can get a safe switch into something else. I'm kind of predicting him to not go for a Taunt, because I protected on his Taunt, so he's expecting me to play around that Taunt, if that makes any kind of sense. So I do go for the Wish here. He goes for another Taunt and blocks it off. Absolutely fair on his part. On his part. So yeah, he goes out into the Empoleon. I think I switch out into the Hippowdon here. At this point, I'm madly doing calcs. I'm like, if I can like one-hit kill this Empoleon with the Super Effective Earthquake, I should do it. I think my calc said that Earthquake's doing about 75% or something along those lines. And obviously this thing's going to scald me. If I can get away without getting a scald burn, at this point I'm weighing up. I'm like, Empoleon isn't really a wall that I'm too fussed about chipping down. Obviously that's like Deoxys defense, like I was saying, and Golbat are the walls I care about chipping down. So on this I probably should have played around the Scald, maybe gone into like a Vileplume or something. But at the same time, this thing's part Steel type, and if I'm in with a Ground type, I should probably just hit the Earthquake, not overthink it, and that's exactly what I do. He goes for the Scald, fortunately doesn't burn. And the Earthquake does a lot less than I expected, so obviously this thing's physically defensive. Makes sense. I've said it before, like a lot of my team is physical as opposed to special offensively, so it makes sense that you'd go physically defensive. But yeah, we get the Earthquake off, get some decent damage off on this thing, and we switch out to the Dracovish because basically I was expecting the Scald, and obviously Scald in terms of damage is doing absolutely nothing to me. It's quarter resisted by the Dracovish. I'm just hoping if he goes for the Scald and doesn't get the burn, then Dracovish is in a great position. He goes for the Defog, which kind of suits me better because obviously we're not risking the Scald burn at all. And I kind of messed up here because I was thinking based on my calcs, but the calcs I was doing was based on this thing not being physically defensive for some reason. I was just going off the damage calc preset, and my Fisher's Rend was killing at this range. So I do go for the Fisher's Rend. Obviously, I didn't take into account the fact that this thing is physically defensive, so he lived that one. He went for the Yawn, and I was thinking, right, I've got the Heal Bell on the Mega Ordino, so if I do fall asleep, that's absolutely fine. At this point, I've got a chance to take out the mon in front of me. Don't overthink it, just do it. That's exactly what I do. Go for the Fisher's Rend, and we have our first kill. Drakefish falls asleep. That's absolutely fine. Garchomp here. I'm predicting obviously I'm predicting like either a Swords Dance or some kind of either Dragon Stab or Ground Stab. In which case, either way, Skarmory is my switch. He goes for the Swords Dance. He does get a little bit greedy here. He goes for another Swords Dance as I go for the Whirlwind. Revealing the Whirlwind. Didn't really want to reveal it this soon, but also if you've got Mega Garchomp plus 4 ahead of you, you want to get that thing out. He goes into the Deoxys, and I'm now thinking, God damn, I wish I would have put the Toxic on the Skarmory there. But either way, I think what I do here, I think I switch out. Do I? He goes out into the Golbat, and yeah, I switch into the Vileplume. Even if that thing had Psychic Stab, it's not doing too much to me, and I can get off like a Corrosive Gas either on the Deoxys or on the switch. End up 1-on-1 with the Golbat, and I think at this point there was a bit of a misplay on my part because I wanted to hit the Corrosive Gas, but I predicted the Taunt, so I just went for the Sludge Bomb for damage, I believe. Just play this one through, because yeah, the Dual Wing Wind's doing absolutely nothing to me. And I go for the Sludge Bomb. If I would have gone for Corrosive Gas here, I'd knock out this thing's Eviolite and Golbat is no longer a threat. I don't know why he didn't go for the Taunt. Maybe he predicted me to play around that. But yeah, on this, I'm now thinking, right, if he doesn't want to Taunt me, I do want to get off the... Actually, no, sorry, I don't go for the Corrosive Gas here. I predict him to switch out because he can't do too much to me. I kind of predict him to switch out and go into something else. So I just want to get for Leech Seed. If he's not taunting me, I want a Leech Seed. Which was again a weird thought process. I should have gone for the Corrosive Gas there if he's not taunting, but either way he taunts, so it's a moot point. Yeah, Vileplume is useless to me now, so we switch out into the Mega Ordino. And yeah, Mega Ordino versus Golbat is absolutely a matchup in this game that does not work for me with this thing's taunts. At this point, I think I was almost thinking about PP stalling the taunts, which is insane to think of this early. Yeah, Golbat with taunt is just... I can't break through it. So yeah, he gets off the Toxic. I go for a Wish. I think I go for a Heal Bell and get taunted here or something. Yeah, we just want to keep Peter Rabbit up at health, even if we can't shake off this Toxic. So we go into the Vileplume. Obviously, Vileplume can kind of deal with the Golbat. I don't think we've revealed we haven't revealed the Corrosive Gas yet, so I was thinking if he doesn't taunt me on the switch, then we can go for the Corrosive Gas. Either way, he goes into Spectria, and Spectria, remember, does not bother me. I think I'll go for the Leech Seed, actually. He sets up the Nasty Plot. Right, I'm thinking, even at +2, even at +4, even at +6, he's doing absolutely nothing to Mega Ordino, given that his only real offensive special moves are the Shadow Ball or the Dark Pulse, which we're either immune to or resist with the Mega Ordino. I'm feeling really good about this. I just switch Mega Ordino straight in. Absolutely no worries, right? Wrong. He's got the Sludge Bomb. At this point, I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, wait, how did I not know that Spectria gets Sludge Bomb? I went into the team build where I opened up a Spectria set. He doesn't learn Sludge Bomb. I think I was like short of Googling how does Spectria learn Sludge Bomb. I was almost thinking about accusing this guy of like not cheating, but I was absolutely at a loss, and it literally took me a good minute or two of floundering around until I realised, wait a second. Yeah, wait a second. So yeah, obviously this thing is a Zoroark. I think we have a bit of back and forth here. If I was just like, oh my god, I forgot Zoroark, like literally, I was so confused. Yeah, I mean, I think we said it in the power rankings video. I think was it Ballistic or Shadow? Someone had said that Spectria and Zoroark is a really good combo. It didn't really make sense to me at the time. I've never really played with Zoroark. Yeah, I can absolutely understand why that is a threatening combo now. So Spectria isn't threatening with its presence. Oh, sorry, it's not threatening directly, but it's threatening with its presence in the team when linked up with Zoroark, as proven here. Let's go for the Protect to try and get off a bit of Leech Seed damage. At this point, Peter Rabbit, he's low on health, and also the Golbat just counters him completely, so I'm not too fussed about preserving it, which is why I'm not too fussed about the toxic damage on my Protect. I just want to try and wear this thing down a little bit. Go out into the Skarmory, predicting the Sludge Bomb. Yeah, the Skarmory was it was kind of an obvious switch with him going for Sludge Bomb, so I'm surprised he didn't go for the Dog Pulse, but you know, you can understand why he did persist with the Sludge Bomb with Mega Ordino in front of him. However, we are sturdy Skarmory, and I know that with Drill Peck plus Leech Seed, we can take this thing out. As long as he doesn't flinch me, the crit doesn't matter, because obviously we got sturdy anyway, and yeah, he didn't flinch me. Zoroark there, surprise, surprise, and we take it out. At this point, I'm just going to go back a turn. Because, yeah, he goes into the Mega Garchomp, and I was thinking that this thing could go for a Scale Shot to take me out. He brings this thing in. Yeah, I don't know why the Leech Seed is still there, actually. What I'm going to do, I think that's a little bit of a glitch on Showdown's part. So we're just going to do this. We're going to go to turn 20. Sorry, we should go to turn 29. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why the Leech Seed was still visible there, but it's not now. Yeah, I could have switched out into something and preserved the Skarmory, but at this point the Skarmory is only really here to take on the Garchomp, and at this low HP, no longer becomes useful to me. I was thinking this guy might go for like a Swords Dance, so I didn't want to switch out to Vileplume and give him the free Swords Dance, so I decided to sack this thing off. He goes for the Fire Fang, absolutely fair. It's kind of annoying that he had the Fire Fang over the Fire Blast, because I could have gone for that counter set that I had originally. But yeah, nah, fair enough. Going to Vileplume here, this was absolutely a misplay on my part. I went for the Vileplume because I was thinking, right, I can just Strength Sap up on him. I'd completely forgotten that he'd revealed the Swords Dance earlier. So he goes, oh wait, no, wait, never mind. I was thinking of a turn in the future. Never mind. But yeah, obviously we've revealed the Strength Sap now. Yeah, sorry, like I said, this battle was like nearly a week ago. Yeah, oops. But yeah, we revealed the Strength Sap now. Going to Drakefish now because I'm thinking this guy's going to either go for a Taunt or a Roost. It's a free switch. I just want to burn off some sleep turns now. He switches out into the Deoxys Defense, and we don't get the first turn Wake Up. We do get the second turn Wake Up, though, which is fantastic. He's Rocky Helmet, but that does so much damage to this Deoxys. He even says here, like, actually, wait, I'm just going to go back to the last turn. Yeah, so we Wake Up, go for that Fisher's Rend, and he goes for the Cosmic Power. I just want to pause it because... okay, it's not turning up, but my opponent did put in the chat, he was like, yeah, I got a little bit greedy with that Cosmic Power. I don't think he did. I think a second turn Wake Up isn't something that you should really plan around, so if I was him, I probably would have gone for the Cosmic Power as well. Yeah, obviously, even when this thing's a +1 defense, the Fisher's Rend is going to KO, so I'll go for it again. He's got the extreme speed, and I was thinking, that's fair, he gets a bit of chip damage. And then the Fisher's Rend doesn't KO, and I'm like, hang on a second, how? Obviously, this thing, when it goes for extreme speed, Fisher's Rend no longer attacks first, it attacks second, so it does half damage. This set, if it would have worked for my opponent, is an incredible Deoxys counter, is an incredible Drakefish counter, and I just wanted to point that out because he's got Rocky Helmet, he's got Cosmic Power to raise his defenses, and he's got the extreme speed to stop my Fisher's Rend doing double damage. It's a really, really good idea for a set because normally I would have KO'd the Deoxys now. However, I've got to take Rocky Helmet damage and extreme speed damage and Rocky Helmet damage again just before I KO him. So we survive on 6 HP, 6% HP, I should say. So yeah, I absolutely love that. I even said it here. I love that Deoxys tech. It's such a brilliant idea for a Dracofish counter. Full props to my opponent. It didn't quite play off for him because my Dracofish survived, but yeah, brilliant. Love that. Anyway, he goes into the Garchomp here. I don't want him to get any kind of free setup at all, so I just go for the Fisher's Rend for damage. It does a hell of a lot. And then he reveals the Scale Shot, which terrifies me, because not only is he Swords Dance, he's also got the Speed Boost, which it was at this point, the whole Vileplume Garchomp spiel that I went into earlier, it should have been safe for now. It's at this point, I should have gone into the something like the Excadrill, or even the Hippowdon, just something that can kill this thing in one hit. Yeah, I probably should go into the Hippowdon here. Set up the sand, ready for the Dracofish. Dracofish? Set up the sand, ready for the Excadrill late game sweep. I should have absolutely done that. I probably could have won the game. However, I saw a Garchomp setting up on me, and my first instinct was, right, Strength Sap. So I clicked Vileplume without even thinking. The moment I'm in here, I'm thinking, wait, even if he Swords Dances up, my Strength Sap is just doing nothing against it. So it's one misplay going into Vileplume right now. My second misplay is that I'm out here now and I'm thinking, right, either he goes for like the Fire Fang that he's revealed, in which case I want to go for the Strength Sap, or he goes for the Swords Dance, in which case I want to go for my Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is a 2-hit KO at this range. So what I should have done is I should have registered that, realised that his Fire Fang wouldn't be KOing me anyway. I should have gone for 2 Sludge Bombs, sacked off the Vileplume, it would have been absolutely fine. Yeah, he goes for the Swords Dance, so I go for the Strength Sap. So this thing's a +1 attack, and yeah, if I would have gone for the Sludge Bomb there, he'd be at +2 attack, but I'd still be living his hit, and I'd be KOing with the Sludge Bomb, because now he goes for the Earthquake. You can see there that did 64% damage. I think if he was at +2, it would have done about 85%. Either way, I'm living it. And that second Sludge Bomb would have KO'd, so that was absolutely a misplay on my part. I kind of choked it there. Didn't get the poison on the Sludge Bomb either, not that you can really bank on that, and he goes for the Scale Shot. He gets 1 hit, gets 2 hits. He does get the 3rd hit. If he got the 2 hits on the Scale Shot, I think. Because I hit the Sludge Bomb here. So if he got 2 hits on the Scale Shot, the Sludge Bomb KOs. However, he gets 3 shots, which is a little bit. I don't want to say that's unlucky because I'd misplayed enough to this point where he deserves 3 shots on the Scale Shot. But yeah, not the best play by me. Now this thing's at +2 speed, which means it outspeeds my Excadrill even in the sand. If I would have done that Vileplume play that I said earlier, actually, wait, never mind. What am I saying? Yeah, if I could have gotten this thing to be at +1 instead of +2 speed, Excadrill outspeeds and KOs with the Earthquake. However, he is at +2 speed now, so he outspeeds Excadrill at even at Sandrush range. At this point, I have kind of lost the game. I just send out the Hippowdon because I'm kind of thinking about differential here. If I can at least take out the Garchomp, I'm going to lose 2-0 instead of 3-0. So yeah, send out the Hippowdon just to die and set up the sand. Excadrill obviously goes down to his Sash on this Earthquake, so we can at least KO with our own Earthquake. At this point, there is still a chance for me to win. All I need to do, obviously I can't go for the Swords Dance or anything like that. I've just got to try and go for the Rock Slide and get 2 flinches in a row. That's the only way that I can win. So I am kind of hopeful, but no. Obviously he doesn't get the flinch and he beats me. And then yeah, obviously send out the Peter Rabbit just to die. He goes for the Taunt. I was obviously only ever going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. I've lost the game at this point. No point going for Wish to try and prolong the battle. And he takes me out the Dual Wing Beat. I was very underwhelmed by my performance in this battle. I think I made a couple of really nice plays, really nice switches. I think my prep for this game was on point. I just kind of didn't ride that momentum, which was absolutely a mistake on my part. It's just the late game bit. That late game bit when it's Vileplume against Garchomp, I had a couple of opportunities to take out the Garchomp, and then I would have swept with the Excadrill. Because yeah, looking at the damage that the Rock Slide did to the Golbat at +2, if I would have managed to get my Swords Dance off, then yeah, the Rock Slide is KOing the Golbat. So yeah, I did. My opponent was in charge, in control throughout the entire battle, I think. So it's not like I was in control and then I choked it at the end, but I still managed to cling on to some kind of momentum, and Yeah, I just really messed it up at the end there. I probably should have. I mean, this isn't to talk down my opponent at all. Like I say, this is why I'm bigging up the Deoxys tech. Absolutely incredible. Sticking Taunt on the goal bat, absolutely incredible. Yeah, my opponent played really, really well, and he prepped really well as well. And obviously, the whole Zoroark Spectria stuff blew my mind. So it's not to take anything away from my opponent here, but yeah, I could have come out of this battle with a win if I would have just thought through my moves a little bit more with that Volplume late game. Anyway, yeah, that's week 6 over, and no, sorry, that's week 7 over, and yeah, hopefully we can come back with a win in week 8.